guys, it's been a little while. Figure it's time for my first real garden tour video. So I moved here in January and I started the gardens about 8 to 10 weeks ago. This is the view I first started with. I have a link to the previous video of what it was like when I moved in. Sadly, you'll notice there's one less palm. Anyway, let's kick it off. So, just like in my first video, I said this was the area that I felt I was going to be working on first. In front here was where the old fence was, that kind of wire fence, and then now we have a new wooden fence. So I'm just going to walk around. I'm not going to necessarily point all the plants out or anything like that. I'm just going to go in here and we'll just take a look, and if there's anything of interest I will show you. Crepe myrtles were inherited. They're all pretty much white. So I think that they are most likely Natchez, which will grow about 20 to 30 feet. At the time, they had no leaves. I wasn't sure what they were. And from the first video, some of the Washingtonia palms got planted in here. And an orange back there, Caracara or Caracara orange. Pineapple guavas. And then I already did my first garden extension because I got this on clearance. This nice Butea odorata. So here it is. And so we will zoom around, and before we had the doghouse and the playground and a lot of grass. So things have changed quite a bit, and we have more changes to come. Figured since I cut the grass, it would be a good time to shoot the video. The second area I worked on, I know people weren't all that excited about this, but it was an eyesore, and the plants are starting to fill in. You know, this went in, I think, 2 weeks after that first area I just showed you, so everything's just kind of coming into its own. A few flowering plants and a few palms, so eventually the palms and the cycads will dominate this area. One of the planter boxes that was here, or sorry, here is now gone. That one is still yet to go, probably within the next 2 weeks, because I'm getting a shed there. And I think last time I said I was going to put the shed down in there. Well, guess what? HOA won't let me. The shed has to be behind the house, even if you have a giant yard like this. So once again, 0.4 acres. This big grassy area is still being reserved for a pool. Once the shed goes in, then I can start working along this fence line. I would like to bump this out about 15 feet, tie into this garden, and then over here, we're going to bump this out 15 feet and tie them together. So it's gotten to the point where it's just too hot to work to do anything major. So that's where I'm at. I'm kind of on hold until I'm thinking October, November sort of thing, probably November. Here we are. The grass, surprisingly, is coming quite nicely. I'm going to walk over here where we originally had the doghouse, the blue doghouse, and then a big play structure. So this garden here is more of a random assortment of stuff. A lot of palms in here that will take some time to grow up, but eventually they'll dominate this area. So I've just been putting in a lot of small things as filler. There's a lot of flowering perennials. I started with very small plants just because I've been I have such a large area to do, and it gets pretty costly when you're dealing with buying big plants. So got a lot of small things, and we're just going to let them fill in. So next year things are going to be better, but we have, that's a real nice hybrid Butea cross Jubea. There's a Santa Catarina Queen. That's dwarf Namwa banana. Sable Riverside, Sable Lisa. So, and then over here, The big thing is obviously the deck, or not deck, but the new patio that was poured, and the big gazebo. And in front here, I also put in a garden, and this is, you know, dominated by this real nice Bismarckia. A little iffy here. And then, you know, some of my small plants I brought with me, cuttings that I took, that sort of thing. And we have some elephant ears. It's the Waikiki, so those will fill in real nice in time. And over in this section, kind of where this mound is, that's where the playhouse was. So island number 2, we have one poor palm that's struggling. You can see the stick here. That's another hybrid palm, but it still seems to be clinging on to life. I'm gonna remove it and replace it with a sable. I'm trying a cordyline. I'm noticing it's starting to get burnt. So back in here, there's also a sandbox. So I've transferred sod over from when I dug these, and then underneath this oak tree that's been trimmed up, we've planted a bunch of the native Turk's caps, which get to be pretty big, and they have quite nice hibiscus type flowers. Then once again, another garden that's dominated by palms, although we do have a Meyer lemon and a small fig, that's a Celeste, and some more elephant ears. And these crepe myrtles appear to be white as well. So whether or not the crepe myrtles will stay long term, that's to be decided. I had a casualty. That was a needle palm. It got a fungus after I transplanted it, and just, you know, kind of a root rot, and it fell apart. Got another needle back there, and new fence and gate, and, you know, now we kind of come to a bit of a mess. But here is the remaining stock that I have left to plant. We have numerous things that are being germinated, and we are doing not too bad. Don't have the cushions out on these right now, but. And then I was talking about this area here that I was going to remove, you know, the grass and put in a garden, and that I've done. So Canna musifolia back there, they're kind of battling it out with the Jack's Giant. Elephant ear, these have been in the ground not long, 4 or 5 weeks. Orange bird of paradise, we have some heliconias, a king palm, and an ice cream banana. So it's kind of a deciduous, leafy, you know, area. In time, these plants will fill out. So actually, considering they've only been here about a month, it's quite shocking. Here is the structure, and I do believe I ended the tour right here. Here's our new, much needed shady spot, because we don't have any. Still working on, I got to put the fan up. I got you know, color changing or lights that you can control, and TVs yet to come. And we're actually putting another one of these over here, and that will be for the smoker, pellet grill, and regular grill. So there you go, guys. That is the update. I know I haven't been posting lately, but I've just been so busy. But I hope you can see that I have done a lot in the last, you know, 2.5 months, and the shed's the next big project. I'm gonna have to take down that garden and put down a base for it, but I think things are looking a whole lot better. And when I sit down in the chair right here, starting to see some goodness. Now, 3 years time, you shouldn't be able to see that fence. And you know, my last garden, I didn't start filming it until either year 3 or year 4, so you're getting a sneak peek at the beginning. Thanks for watching.